nest, and what's inside a honey nest? Honey. And Samson walks up to the carcass of the lion. It has some honey. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. So he takes the honey and he's eating it. Where did he get the honey from? So he was already in a vineyard. He was already with the carcass. Now, it doesn't mention anything about sexual immorality, but the Bible is very clear about sexual immorality because he made things, he made sex, and he made it great, and he made it to be enjoyed in the right context. And then Samson's a train wreck as far as sex goes, okay? You can just read the story later. It's wild. So, then he meets a girl, right? And it's this girl, and there's a riddle, and the woman basically 3 different times like, oh, you need to tell me? No. You need to tell me? No. And then she's like, you don't. And as he's in bondage and he's getting ready to die, they bring him out to laugh at him and poke fun at him, and it says his hair's growing back. And he puts his hands on the foundation of the room that he's in. He's like, all right, God, I know I messed up, but let's do this one more time. It says he pulled down the house that he was in. And more Philistines died at his hands after his disobedience and bondage than the whole time before. Now you got to remember, this homeboy took the jawbone of a donkey and killed 1,000 people. That's a bad man. I mean, God was on him. So Samson, what was he in bondage to? Sin, the temptation, right? He didn't learn from his mistakes. He never. Do you think that it's some? Maybe Samson should have thought, hey, I probably don't need to be in Delilah's bedroom alone. I mean, that's just good policy if you don't want to enter sexual immorality. Listen, stay in public places where getting naked is inappropriate. I mean, that's just free advice, right? I was a youth pastor. I know a lot of things. So. And I was a teenager. So glory to the Lord that we're who we are now. So listen, Samson missed some very important warnings in his life. He missed some things that if we pick up from Scripture, these things, God can actually keep us from becoming bound by the enemy. Because listen, when the enemy binds us, can Satan bind you? Can Satan come and go, Ashley, daughter of the king, I bind you and you cannot move? No. The enemy does not have power over you. You hear me? Because he doesn't have power over the Spirit of God that resides in you. If you come and you want to put handcuffs on Anna, you're going to put them on me first. Now, if you're in law enforcement, you probably can, and that won't end well, and there's like a Hank Williams Jr. song about how this goes. But I'm going to do everything in my power to protect my child, right? And I'll never apologize for that. So Samson is bound by something that he really didn't have to be bound by, did he? If he hadn't have been the places that he was, maybe he would have recognized the voice of the enemy and been like, I don't need to be here. This is what the enemy, the adversary, wants for all of us. He wants to rob us of power. He wants to put us in bondage. So to become unbound, to keep from being bound by and the humanity, Jesus is like, ooh. And he goes, no. And what did Jesus say? Every time the enemy came to him, what did he say? It is written. But notice when he came to him. He came to him when he was weary. He came to him when he was tired. He came to him when he was hungry. Look at me, church. The enemy is not stupid. He is crafty. He is things. And even it's bad when your 11-year-old calls you out for being angry. But don't you know the enemy knows exactly when to come to you? Don't you know that he knows the moments where you get the bad report? Or watch this. Listen. He knows when somebody hurts your feelings, he's going to swoop right in the backside and go, yeah, nobody likes you. Do you know what they really think about you? You're not really worth anything. They don't like you. I bet Jesus doesn't even really like you. He just tolerates you. I mean, he loves you because he has to every one of us. And so the first thing we need to understand is when we're tired, when we're weary, when we're beaten down, when the finances go to pot, when whatever relational things happen, we need to understand that the enemy's going, got him now. Here I come. And so if we would understand when the enemy comes against us, the times that he comes against us, and not just take it and lay down and be like, oh, here we go, but understand that he is coming against you for a reason. Not only is he coming at you for a reason, Jesus was tempted in the wilderness by Satan. He came to him 3 specific times because what happened when he left the wilderness? He left the wilderness in the Spirit's power and began the mission to save the world. See, the enemy wants to come to you when you're weak, when he can get you, but he will also throw hell and everything he's got at you when he knows you're fixing to go somewhere. When he knows you're fixing to be on mission for God. He knows that maybe, you ever woke up in the morning and felt like there's a conversation going to happen that day? Somebody at work, somebody somewhere that you just feel like the Holy Spirit's going, get ready. Here we go. And that day is like, what in the world is going on? No, the enemy doesn't want the gospel to come to you. He doesn't want the gospel to come through you. Understand that he is a master at timing. And so we need to understand his timing. We also need to understand his voice. The enemy speaks. Yes, he speaks. He has power of suggestion. But you know what? Satan uses people. His other people and their voices to derail you, to degrade this. In Judges 14, he used the pleading, guilt-inducing voice of another person to lead Samson to defeat, didn't he? Anybody ever hurt your feelings? You ever felt like you and Jesus were doing well, right? Like you're in a good relationship with him. It's not that you've earned his favor. It's just like I'm in a healthy place. And then somebody just out of the blue. And sometimes it's not even in your face, is it? Sometimes you hear, Andrew, did you hear what they said about you? Shut up. We're doing okay here, right? And then the enemy comes and he's like, you know, Allie, I hate to tell you this. The enemy will use other voices. Listen to me. This is something you can take way past this sermon. You be very careful the voices you allow to have influence over your heart. You be very careful that the voices that have influence over your heart, and listen, even over your emotions, love Jesus, love you, and love his church. If they don't love you, love his church, which is not just this building, it's his people, all of his people, even the ones that disagree with you politically. You hear me? Even the ones that dress differently than you, even the ones that sing different songs than you do, but they love Jesus and they love you. Outside of those 3 criteria, be very wary what advice you listen to. Because the enemy would love to come in, Tucker, and be like, you need to listen to this person and that person. They're a good person. I think they like me. You want to know the test of whether somebody really likes you or not? Go through hardship and see if they're still there. Right. Because I'm going to tell you something, boys and girls. Why do you think the prodigal son was eating pig pods? He was eating pig pods because the big time ran out and none of his so-called friends were there anymore. You want to find people that love you, that love Jesus and love his people?